Welcome to Media Melanie TV. Today I am back to do something a little bit different. I will be reviewing a book by Larry Mollin. It is called Crushing Cabo, the second in a series. The first one is called The Pool Guy's Kid. And you may be asking, Melanie, why are you doing a book review here? Well, I'm here to tell you. Larry Mollin was a producer and writer for Beverly Hills 90210, one of my favorite teen drama series ever. And as you may know, if you watch my channel, I also like to cover these types of shows, such as The Buccaneers, School Spirits, Gen V, Maxton Hall, The World Between Us, which is coming up. So, to get a book that really creates this sort of vibe and resonates intergenerationally with people of my age and also younger people, I think really hits a lot of different marks and makes it extra entertaining. It's been 35 years since Beverly Hills 90210. I am 45 years old. I started watching that show when I was 10. And to see all of these Easter eggs every single time Larry mentions Dylan McKay, I swoon. I still swoon over Dylan. May you rest in peace, Luke Perry. Larry, using his expertise as a TV writer, and he's also got a background in theater, just contributes to the overall authenticity of this book. Organ harvesting, cartels, ayahuasca, all of these different themes that are quite action packed really play into the stereotypes of these different characters. Gilly, of course, is the pool guy's kid. Duke Montrose is his dad's name. He's a single dad who's always sort of been into the sex, drugs, and rock and roll type of vibe. Gilly's a good kid. Him and his friend group gets involved in some pretty precarious situations in the pool guy's kid. And then in Crushing Cabo, the stakes are raised even more as they essentially get trapped down in Mexico. There are relationships, just feels very real in terms of the teen and young adult aspect of it all. And not only is the book entertaining, but it's also quite aesthetically pleasing. It's in my favorite color scheme, of course, the pinks, the yellows, the turquoises, sort of gives the 90s vibes. One of the things I'm going to get into with Larry is how well he infuses the hashtag usage, the authentic slang, and just the overall feeling of today, here, and now, while also planting these seeds from all of us who, of course, enjoyed 90210 back in the 90s. If you're looking for an entertaining read or a gift idea for the holidays for anybody who does like 90s television, or for any teen or young adult in your life now who enjoys reading, gravitates towards action, a little bit of mystery, some murder, some crime, these books have all of it. And I'm excited there will be a third one coming this summer. These books are great for the summer poolside or great to keep that summer and vacation vibe going. And again, I don't typically do book reviews, but I thought this one would resonate because I am friends with Larry. I used to work on the Beverly Hills 90210 podcast with him and Charles Rosen and Pete Ferrero. So I thought, you know what? Why not have a chat, bring Larry on, get a little bit into his head about how he created these characters, what inspired the ideas, of course, some other pop culture elements as well, including TV and music. I have cut down the full interview, but that said, I am going to make this available, the entire video, as a YouTube members only, and I'm also going to put it on my Patreon. And also, hey, if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, please do. I am working on becoming a full-time TV content creator, and I would love to hit 10,000 followers before the end of the year. And some major gratitude here to Pete Ferrero, Charles Rosen, and to Larry Mollin for having me as part of their Beverly Hills 90210 podcast. I was a producer, sometimes a co-host. We did a weekly 90 news show. All of it was so much fun, and actually working with them is what inspired me to start my channel here. What you're about to see are my favorite parts from the interviews. And be sure to drop in the comments if you have read the books, if you plan on reading them, or any other questions that you might have. I can always ask Larry. We've got a new series, The Pool Guy's Kid and Crushing Cabo. One of my favorite parts is the fact that you weave in all of these references to Beverly Hills 90210 for people of my age, but you also just capture this youthful vibe that I think also works for younger people. How does your background contribute to your plot and character development for these type of teen and young adult novels?
TV writing is great training because it's really manufacturing. You've got, the train is run, you got to fill it up every an hour every week, and you're under great pressure to tell stories. You realize that the most important part of stories are characters. And we would talk about this all the time, how we want to vertically integrate the characters, put them together, challenge their relationships, challenge the friendships, build the enemies. And I think doing that it started becoming natural to me, and so I actually after Naruto when I was ended, I don't think I ever wrote another thing like that until these novels, and I kind of really missed it. It's for me it was a chance to write adventure novels, but also layer in the same kind of youthful romance we would have in Naruto, the same hang-ups, the same self-examination and the self-absorption and all the things that go in with it. And I used a little bit in creating the characters. I wanted to create a Beverly Hills adjacent kind of character. So the main character is not from Beverly Hills. He's adjacent to Beverly Hills. He's a blue collar kid whose father's a who cleans the pools in Beverly Hills. And so it kind of I think, it's always good to have a little bit of an underdog as a hero. And then I built up his friends, who again, it's just thinking about these people and the things we talked about. I wanted to say one thing. I have to get this right. When I first came into the business, which was a long time ago, like 1978, I met with the producer and I was pitching out some characters. He said, "Wait a second. There's only 5 characters in the world, and you met them all in high school." And I always thought that was so unique. And so when I wrote this novel, I basically wrote those 5 characters. There's Gilly is certainly the underdog. The underdog. You've got the entitled beauty, who is Fern. You've got the hacker mentality, VJ. You've got the rebel, which is Aura, and you've got the debate club president, which is Letitia. And those become the same. I was able to kind of write for those types, and it really helped me a lot thinking about them, thinking about high school. Because the first novel, they are in high school. The second novel, which follows time-wise, just like Beverly Hills 90210, Time is Real, follows them into the first year of college. I guess it's a genre that I felt I had something more to say about after all these years, and mixed up with just trying to absorb modern pop culture, modern social media, things I've always been curious about. Was just a fun thing, so I jumped in. It's actually been very challenging and fun.
Is this always meant to be a series, or did you just sort of start out with the one book and as you were writing it, decided to develop it into more?
No, I always imagined it would be a series. I thought it could have some legs if I could just make the characters real and people care about them.
Did you have some kind of advisor or consultant for capturing all of this hashtag usage and all of the slang and all that? Or do you just have
No,
so much
no, I
Riz,
just
Larry?
when I entered Hollywood in 1978, I was the rock and roll writer. I was that's how I got my jobs. All my first jobs were rock and roll related plots on series. I did the first punk episode in Chips, the first all girl band, and also it's just crazy. I don't know. I've always been fascinated with pop culture, so I basically researched basically, and no, I have nobody to talk to basically. One of my sons is he was born in 81, so he's already 45 almost, and one's almost 40, 39. So no, they're kind of they're millenniums. They're not Gen Z or Gen Alpha. So no, I have to, you have to research just like what writers have always done. I remember when the first job I got, which was on Chips on staff, and it was on the MGM lot, which was the original MGM lot, which then became the Sony lot. But it had a building on it, which was the library, where you could research. It was so wonderful. You'd go in there, you'd meet other writers and other directors, all researching. It was, it took a time. Now, of course, you just, throw a couple of keystrokes on your Google page or your Chat GPT or whatever, and you got it. So, I mean, yeah, it's you unfortunately, I've always I like ammunition. So yeah, I will just, go on Chat GPT and say, what's the Gen Z word for this? What's this? And just, yeah, absolutely.
You brought the Riz. I mean, really, this was just so relatable. I mean, I'm your son's age. I'm about 45, and I've got younger kids, or I guess teenagers, tweens. I just props to you for doing that research and getting it so right. It felt so
Oh,
authentic.
yeah,
So
that I always want. So that's good to hear. I did use Riz. I actually just used it. The thing I'm writing now, which is the third book of the series, called "Slaying a South Island" in New Zealand. It takes place South Island, New Zealand. But I use 6 7,
oh my gosh, 6,
six
7.
seven,
My kids are
six
always
seven.
doing that. It's unbelievable.
Six
That's
seven, 6 7. That was yeah. I went, oh, I think I can use that. Yeah, I've always done that in writing scripts. I always, have a big file of stuff I want to use, ammunition I call it, where I'm gonna just pep up the script with this. Is gonna make it unique. Because again, writing is basically rewriting, as you know. The difference for me, though, in this writing process for these novels is I really only have a very not really clear path of where I'm going. Unlike a TV series, where it's all structured. You have 4 acts, and it's a template. Here, I'm kind of really challenging myself, and that's what keeps me going with it. Just having fun, writing myself into corners, getting out of corners, seeing where I can take these characters emotionally.
so you talk about cartels, there's organ harvesting and ayahuasca. Now, question, have you ever done ayahuasca? Was this a
No,
personal
and
experience?
I'm a giant stoner, but no, I'm not a big, I look, certainly probably in the '60s, logged about 20 acid trips. In fact, I took acid before I ever smoked pot, like in
Oh,
1964.
wow.
It was just someone there. I was trying to meet a girl as things happen, and, that's what happened. But, no, so I've never got into that. I never really got into after the '60s, I never went back to psychedelics. I don't never went to, any pills, never went into any cocaine. I mean, I tried it, but never no, just stay with pot, very happy. Thank you very much. But no, definitely not. Never. The ayahuasca thing. I guess if I had some peer pressure and people wanted to go on a trip, I might do it. But yeah, I'd be curious. But the straightest people I know are microdosing
It's a
LSD,
big trend right now, right? With
psilocybin.
everything. It's
I have a
crazy.
friend who actually has just died, unfortunately, but he, a giant nonfiction writer, big biographies, including like Dylan, Steve Wynn, and stuff and a Vietnam vet. And I sat with him last February when we were talking about the process. He said, before every writing session now, I'm microdosing psilocybin. I the straightest person in the world. I was like floored. Other people I know from the vineyard, kind of celebrities from New York and stuff, they also, they're doing it too, just to non-stress or de-stress themselves. It's interesting, but no, it's not for me. It's just no, I don't want to go there at this point.
Yep. Stick to the
I've been
pot.
there. I've been there. It actually, I can certainly say it really changed a lot of my direction of my life when I did it that early. I have to say
Yeah.
because I was going to be a basketball coach.
Oh, well, hey, well, you did a complete 180, and I mean, we're all so
I
glad that you
definitely did.
did.
My high school friends go, "How did you become a writer? Like, when did that happen?"
Tell me a little bit about your writing process. What is an average day when you're working on a book look like when you're getting the story written?
I've written 5 published novels now. So each one, the process was different. The first one took like 9 years, and I
Oh,
had to
wow.
be embarrassed into it by a very famous poet who's a friend of mine. She happened to ask, "Whatever happened to that novel you were writing?" And I felt so embarrassed. Like I finished it in like a 2 months. But then after that, I did a trilogy called the Max Bean trilogy, which is kind of a fun postmodern detective kind of raunchy novels with great urban legend plots in them echoing through history. They're really advanced. And that thing I had to write every day. Every day I wouldn't finish these. They were so complicated. And when I say every day, it might just be reading and editing, but I had to be on it every day to finish it. These now I put out one every summer. So I'm already way ahead on the slaying South Island. I don't want I don't want to have nothing to do. What am I going to do? I actually am thinking of another play because I've also a playwright and I do love theater. That's really where I started as a writer. But I think now, I'll try to get, if I get 500 words in a day, I'll be happy because it all, if you work, 5 days a week and you do 5 pages a day, that's 25 pages and a month, that's got to be 100. It's just, it all adds up quickly, and it's word count basically. You just got to be on it. But I'm always thinking about it and trying to, writing is like this is solving problems. How can I solve this problem? How can I solve this problem? And then ultimately, you got to step back and go, what's he feeling? Where can I take this relationship? What truth can I give here? What can I bring that's going to help somebody? Because you're entertaining, but you also want to give more than entertainment. You want to give insight. And I try to do that, certainly with the relationship stuff. And a lot of the relationship stuff is stuff I've faced. I mean, think I can't remember if it's Crushing Cabo, but it was something I was really like I had this enlightened moment um, where I had this thought, what made a relationship really work for a long time, and it was this: was learning what not to say and when not to say it. That's the secret of a relationship. And so, actually, I built the second book, Crushing Cabo, a lot around the relationship between Fern and Gilly with that in mind. I knew I was going to, he was going to have to learn that lesson. And yeah, so you wanna be able to, pass down some at least, 2-bit insights that you think are important. People are learning. And I'm doing that now with the relationship stuff now. I mean, I've got something I've gotta work toward, which is not that I'm gonna give it away, but it's just kind of at the end, but it's an insight living with someone or being married to them. One is, if I'm living with you, I can love you each day, but if I'm married to you, I can love you every day.
Yeah, I like that. And it's
Yeah.
funny you bring that up because that part at the end of Crushing Cabo, you do get into that. And I really took a lot away from that in terms of creating the lasting relationship built day by day, good day, bad day. The stats add up, the running tally. There's got to be daily interest accrued and equity grown to sustain the good times and the bad times. And I thought that was really well done and something that has actually sat with me for I mean,
So
it's an
glad.
entertaining, fun novel, but that message I think is very strong, and I'm glad that you infuse that in.
I'm glad, as writers, we tend to use all our stuff, but that was from a Valentine's poem I wrote for my wife.
Oh my goodness,
And it
get
wasn't word
out
for
of
word.
here!
It wasn't word for word, but it was the image of it, and I thought that was really important. I kind of liked that, so I stayed with it.
Yeah, I love that. That was one of my favorite parts of the book, and
I'm so glad. Yeah, that's. I
ugh,
mean, again, that's what the novels I think give you. They give you a lot of excitement because there are a lot of fun things that happen to the young people and the friends. But then you can see yourself in the relationships too that people are having now, the difficulties they're having, the joys they're having, and the pull. When you're young, you're always looking at the other person too. I mean, that's why again we learned from Beverly of 90210. We built our storylines on triangles. I can't give that up. So I'm always working that with Gilly and Fern and Aura. I kind of roll that around a bit, and I do in Slang South Island too. Now, Slang South Island just give you a preview. They all end up down there because it's going to be a destination wedding for VJ and Letitia.
oh, they're getting married. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is very exciting.
So I'm gonna, yeah, just throw that out there. Hopefully, not too many people know that, and I'd love the surprise. But anyway, that's what that book's gonna be built about around. They and uh, and it's also going to have in it white power nationalists, crazed skinheads, human trafficking, and yeah, it's the usual bunch of bad people and good people. I actually almost done with the first draft, and I'll probably finish it, this month, and then I'll just lay on it because I can't even give it to my publisher till like February or March. She won't be ready for it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to sell books. If anyone's listening, it would mean so much to me if you buy this book. I need to, it's hard to get sales as an author. I don't, I'm not pushy enough, or the way the social media thing is exhausting. I have to give it to
Ugh.
you that you can do it because you got to keep it up. I mean, it's you and Ryan Thomas Brown. I mean, Jesus. I mean, TikTok. I only can go on once a week because it's just so exhausting. I mean, it's fascinating. I somehow have been involved in an Appalachia algorithm. So I see all these Appalachian singers and comedians and just people talking about Appalachia. And it's pretty, I have no idea why, but I kind of find it entertaining. But yeah, it's exhausting. So it's amazing what you're doing. You're building up your business. I respect you so much. We miss you so much on the podcast. I mean, I'd love to do another Planet 90210 or America's
Yes.
home favorite zip code. America's zip code. But without that organization of you, we could not possibly do it.
Oh.
So maybe in the maybe if you have time, you got your stuff you got to do. Of course, I love following your family. I love the kids. I love the sports, and I only wish the best for everybody.
Oh, you're so sweet. And yeah, hey, I'll come back anytime. I loved working with you guys, which is what inspired me to get this
I
whole
think so.
TV
Yeah, I
channel
mean,
going. So yeah.
I think actually the podcast really started the gang, the kids, the stars realizing the show is good. People still like it, and we better start getting out there and try to take advantage of the legacy. Because I always say, I mean, none of us knew it was a good show. When we left there, we were told it was a bad show. It was just a spelling show. Don't get too excited. And so we've all carried that shame with us until the podcast. We realized, my God, there's thousands and thousands of people out there. I mean, the stars now, all who are we love dearly. They go to one convention after the other, sign autographs. I mean, it's a major business. Tori and Jenny started their podcast because we did. They kind of realized what we were doing, and they kind of took it over. And they're bigger names, and we wish them the best. We don't care. We don't need the pressure. But again, you got to be honest. They're doing every episode every week.
Related to TV and pop culture and all of that, if these books were developed into a TV show or a movie, who would you see cast as, say, Gilly and Fern and VJ? Are there any names that maybe pop at the top of your head?
I have searched for the names a couple of times. I kind of remember who they are, but they're all kids who come out of the Disney factory. Frankly, they're most of them are out of there, and a couple of them are in the even the Twilight kids are way too old. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of these kids are the Disney kids. You'd have to view that like we viewed Saved by the Bell on 90210. No, but it seems so castable to me. You know, you find some fantastic kids, but I have no idea how to market it. If anyone out there is hearing it wants to market it, there I have the rights to them. Obviously, I kept them from my publisher, but I have no idea what to do with them. I'm going to have three of them soon, and they would make great limited series, season one, season two, season three. Great locations, and it could be international money. Look, if I thought about producing again, I would know how to produce them, but I just don't have, the desire, I guess, or the energy, maybe.
I think you're doing a great job. These stories translate well, and I think you'd be great, and you would crush producing, as as the book title implies. But I'd love to see a Milo Manheim. I love him in School Spirits. I think he would be great in the book. Just someone that kind of popped into my
What's his name again?
Milo Manheim. He's actually Cameron Manheim's son.
I mean, I'll try to do this. I'll find out who represents him and just send an email.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the level of sophistication I have now with this process. But like every other yokel, but I'm in Montgomery, Ohio.
What are some songs that are currently playing in pop culture right now that you think would work for this? Like what song would capture the essence? I know you're not into the newer Taylor
I
Swift
I
stuff,
love
but
what you did. I love that, the Cabo song you put in there, and that you have to tell me who that is, 'cause I've heard it before, but I don't know the artist.
yeah,
Who's the
I think it's either Toby Keith or I don't know, it's a country song, but yeah,
Yeah,
every time I post about your book, I use that song. I do think it actually
it's
goes really
great,
well.
and I
Yeah.
think he also did the song Marina Del Rey, as I remember. That's why I
Oh,
recognize. I mean, I still go to music. I like music a lot, but I really like the Americana, almost country stuff
yeah.
more than anything now, as you know. You know I go to concerts, but I do like progressive bands like you do. Like I like the Strumbellas, but I'm pretty much a guitar band guy, and I've been obsessed with Southern rock for a long time. So there's a band out there performing called Tedeschi Trucks Band, which is just the height of playing. They're the most incredible players. Derek Trucks is one of the greatest guitar players, and Susan Tedeschi is she's like Janis Joplin, but she can play guitar. And they have an 11-piece band, and they just put on a great show. There's another band I really like out there now called Lucero. If they come to San Diego, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
They're almost like a biker bar band, but I just love the writing in it. It's so good. Like, in fact, again, I have to confess I stole a line for it from the new book, and the line was, I think in the song it goes, uh, "You don't have to tell me how it feels not to be in love."
I
I
like
just
that.
like that idea. "You don't have to tell me how it feels not to be in love." Yeah, that's a good line. And, yeah, I've hit the clubs here in the Cincinnati area. Uh, there's a country guy I like who's really hit it big now called Stephen J. Wilson. It's like a hillbilly singer, really interesting. Go check out his stuff, Stephen J. Wilson. It's really
Okay.
haunting, because I put out my best albums of the year every year.
Yes, you do.
I try to like really listen. I'll do a big rush pretty soon. I'll start listening to more. I just try to listen. Look, that's how I discovered Billy Strings, which is there. I mean, Billy Strings would be great for anything. I mean, he's just terrific. But yeah, I have heard the new Strumbella stuff, by the way. I think it's pretty good. And if I was with you, we go see a show. I mean, they don't seem to be touring the U.S. very much, unfortunately.
So they're actually coming back in San Diego, I think March 5th. I've actually got tickets for it. And their new album comes out at the end of the month.
Yeah,
And they have a new lead singer who actually, surprisingly, I enjoy more than the original one. So
yeah.
that's
Well, I didn't think
surprising.
that much of the original one. I mean, I like the whole vibe of the thing, and the songwriting was really unique. It's kind of like a communal hippie rock in a way. Anthem, kind of interesting stuff. So yeah, you still have the fiddle player, the girl fiddle player. She's in there.
Yeah. Oh, she's great.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
her on
I
the
thought she was
strings.
pretty
Yep.
good.
She is
Yeah,
good.
I mean, so music-wise, though, yeah, but, I guess you'd have to have more pop music in this thing. I mean, I tried listening to the new Taylor Swift thing, which I have liked Taylor Swift in the past, but, I kind of tuned out after Folklore.
Yeah.
I just don't like the synth sound of these things, and I don't really care about it. I worked in Vegas for many years, it all feels very Vegas-y to me.
Yeah, it's a little bit overproduced, I think, and I also resonate more with the folklore era of Taylor Swift, so I totally get that, and I just love your music taste in general. Actually, on my phone, I have your Martha's Vineyard dinner playlist saved, and I like to play that sometimes, so thank you for that.
I keep adding to it. Yeah, this let me see what I have on. I just added some stuff. That's funny. That's great. Yeah, I do that when I'm shucking clams. I play that nice and loud.
Love that.
That's
Love
that
clams too.
playlist, that's my clam shucking music.
I love
Uh,
that.
um, we can't be, unfortunately, there's no clams to shuck right now, but that's the way it is.
Yep.
Uh, so I'm just looking at what I've added to my playlist, and I see I've added, well, Casey Musgraves, who I really like.
Oh, I love Casey Musgraves.
I
Absolutely.
particularly like her early stuff.
Yep.
Same trailer, different park is unbelievable album. I've added, Valerie June, you know Valerie June?
I don't. I don't.
Very interesting, uh, black woman, Memphis artist, kind of a folk, but she's very it's just an original sound. She's really talented. I've seen her many times. I added Jelly Roll, Winning
Oh,
Street.
yeah, I know Jelly Roll. Yep.
Jelly Roll, he was
Yep.
I've added, and I've added, this guy who I really obsessed with died a couple of months ago, Bobby Whitlock.
Oh.
Bobby Whitlock was one of the seminal rockers of the '60s who was I guess you consider him a sideman, but he's one of the Dominoes. He was the guy who really taught Eric how to sing.
Hmm.
But he played the piano on Layla, the Layla album, which, is the height of rock and roll. Zach Throne, who played Howard in the Beverly Hills 90210, has been on tour for almost a year with, the guy from, Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell.
Oh, that's cool. And he had a Vegas show, I think, before that, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I saw the Vegas show, but this is really big. I never knew anything about Alice in Chains, unfortunately. I don't know the music. I was a big punk music fan because like I said, I had the first punk music on television, but I never Alice in Chains was kinda like second generation punk, I guess.
Yep.
I already checked out at that point.
Now, actually, speaking of music, so there's a character in Crushing Cabo, Bunky Green. There's an
Yeah,
actual person in. I googled it. It's an actual musician, but who did you really like base that character on?
I kind of based that character on another guy who was a TV producer, really, Steve Blauner. That's really funny. I hadn't thought of him, but I guess that's what I was thinking. But I've also met guys like that who, and it's funny because everyone's touring now. Oh, the old guys are touring. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean, rock and roll. I was saying the other day, I mean, every commercial is from music 60 years ago. It's
Yeah.
like we've become classical music in the classical music sense of the word. Rock and roll is classical music. That's what people hear all the time. I mean, it's unbelievable. And people I know in music business, they've been able to sell their catalogs and live quite well in their advanced years. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Bunky, I did base on a guy named Steve Blauner, who was actually one of the producers of the Monkees.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
he was the guy you never hear of, but he had an office next to me.
Hmm.
And I think when I heard Bunky's voice, I would always hear Steve Blauner because I kind of always done. I think he's still alive. He could be like 100 years old.
Oh, geez.
I
Okay.
don't think. Oh, that's funny. Yes, there is a mix of adult characters in my stuff. And I've got Gilly's relationship with his father because his father's kind of like a ne'er do well pool cleaner in Beverly Hills who thinks he knows everything, and he basically was a single parent. Gilly's mom died in an auto accident, years before, and
Yeah.
it's a very relatable character. Where Gilly lives is an apartment building that I know well because I had a house on the block behind it, and
Hmm.
my pool man lived there, so I did base that on my own pool man.
Larry, final question, because obviously my channel here revolves around television. We sometimes chat about it as well
Yeah.
on Twitter, X, whatever it is. What are some of the favorite shows or standouts from this past year for you? And what are you looking forward to for TV
Well,
coming
I
next
mean,
year?
right now, Slow Horses, we just watched
Oh,
this week's episode. It's been great.
so good.
Been great. The development of the Cole character, this guy who sat for a season, did nothing. Then last season he closed out really strong, and now he's really interesting character. And it's just delightful. So I really like that. We watched this thing called the Marlowe Murder Mysteries, which we liked that. We look, the pit was very good. We discussed the pit. I was glad that it got all that attention.
Me too.
And I know Pete, our friend Pete Ferriero, just got to work with Noah Wiley on this documentary he's doing.
Yes,
He's
I'm
great.
gonna tell you, when I saw that picture, I was immediately like, little pings of like, oh, I kind of wish I met Noah Wiley too, because he's just been such a standout in this show. And the fact that they're turning it around in 1 year to come back in January in today's landscape of how long it takes things is just
Right.
incredible to me.
Yeah, good for them. It's like HBO, right? HBO Max or something. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, they're that's more traditional, more broadcast. I mean, not Tech Brothers yet. What I mean, I look at the ones I can't tell. I haven't looked at this task thing which you've talked about. I haven't like what are you liking now?
Well, Task is definitely one. It's got Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelphrey, who was actually in Ozark as well. It's pretty dark and brooding, but it tells a lot about personal relationships and family. It's very trauma driven. And what I like is it's only 7 episodes and it is a limited series, which makes it a much more digestible
Oh,
show, I think,
like a
because
movie, yeah.
yep, yep. And he did the Mayor of Easttown, this Brad Inglesby who did Task. So I think he's kind of
Yeah, I
on
saw
something with
that.
this genre. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw yeah, we haven't gone to that. We keep getting stuck in these international detective series on Acorn and BritBox, and if I can't find something that's current, like we are watching High Potential, which I was very down on the first 2 episodes. They really made classic mistakes, but now by the fifth episode or fourth episode, it's gotten back to itself. It's charming again. So I'm watching that, which is odd. It's a network show, so I'm watching
Yeah.
that. We watched the Leanne series. We binged this half-hour thing called Leanne, was this Southern comedian, kind of like a Roseanne series, but it was very good. It was
Yeah.
fun, and I don't know. Nothing else has been knocking me out the way Slow Horses is.
Oh,
I haven't
Slow
really
Horses is exceptional. I actually think I like this season more than season 1. They've just done such a good job. It's so captivating. I'm so here for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it really is. It's scary. I mean, it's been very good.
Yep.
So what else are you recommending to people?
So coming up actually in November, there's a new show on Apple TV coming out called Pluribus, who is by Vince Gilligan from Breaking Bad, and it stars Kim Wexler. I'm heard the actress's name is escaping me, but that looks pretty promising. And with spooky season this month, It Welcome to Derry is coming to HBO, which I'm looking forward to. Watching the recent two It movies to kind of prep for that, and I'm a big Interview with the Vampire person. I wasn't super into the movie, but the show, especially season 1, I love. And a spinoff, The Telemasca, is coming, of course, in the Anne Rice universe at the end of this month, too. So I'm kind of excited to see if that lands like Interview with the Vampire did.
That's good. I know you like that Buccaneers series.
Oh,
That's
yes. It
coming
just
back.
got renewed
I
for
haven't
season
watched that.
3.
Yeah, but we watch usually like a couple of hours of television a night. 5 6 nights a week.
Did you ever get into the Dexter franchise at all, or is that
No,
not really?
my friend Clyde Phillips, what guy I work with, is running them now. He's been running for a couple of years, and I should watch it, but I just haven't. I just doesn't. I don't know. It's. I never caught on the first one, and I just never went back to it. But
Yeah.
you like it, I know people love it, and Clyde's done really well. And he really is a very good producer and a good writer.
Yeah, the latest spinoff just got renewed for season 2, and this spinoff is
Mhm.
the best of them all. The second one, New Blood, and not great. The prequel
Right.
was decent, but it got canceled, I think, because they're focusing on Resurrection. But that's cool that you're
Yeah.
friends with Clyde. He's just crushing it over there.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is. He definitely is. He's just gotta work his ass off. I mean, I don't know why he does it. His wife's a friend of mine also. Yeah, they don't see each other that much. But, yeah, they're he's doing it, that's for sure. Now what else you got? Dexter?
Well,
No?
as you mentioned, the Buccaneers just got renewed for season 3, which I'm excited
Okay.
about. I don't
Mhm.
usually like the period dramas, but it has this young modern feel. And you know me, I like the teen and young adult stuff. So that's a lot of fun. And I'm watching Gen V, actually. I never watched The Boys. Gen V and The Boys, of course, are by
Oh,
Seth
yeah,
Rogen,
yeah.
but I'm loving it. It's more college age kind of, superhero stories. It's a little bit grotesque, a little bit graphic at times, but I mean, I'm enjoying it. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, I haven't, gone on to any of those.
And I'm actually rewatching My So-Called Life right now, just trying to bring a little bit of
No.
nostalgic TV back. I
Oh,
am, the
boy, we
people.
tested those writers. They in print, they kind of, denigrated us. They say, "Listen, don't get us confused with 90210. We're not 90210." We go, "Fuck you. You have no ratings. What are you talking about?" I mean, we were so offended by those people. Just, anyway.
I had no idea. I mean, and I will say Beverly Hills 90210 has definitely stood the test of time, especially some of these more controversial storylines you guys wrote. And I mean, it's 35 years now since Beverly Hills 90210, and you guys really just created such a legacy. And I think we all thank you for that. And now being able to resurge into these young adult novels is just really putting your expertise into another medium that's translating, I think, very well for all of us. So,
I think I do it well, and I hope people will pick these up. They're on Amazon or my website, which is larrymollin.com.
yeah.
And, Yeah, you'll get a lot of bang for your buck. You'll look cool reading it wherever you are, and you'll get it's so much fun to be able to entertain people, and the fact that you held on to that thing about the arithmetic of love. Glad you read that. That's good. You know,
Mhm.
I always write a Valentine poem every year, so I should go back and see if there's any other material I can use because I'm getting close to the end of this one. I'm gonna have to recycle something.
That was one of my favorite parts, and also just the aesthetics of the book. I mean, you already held it up. The colors, the vibrancy, the sketches of the characters in there, just it looks good, it reads good, it's entertaining, and I think it'd make a great holiday gift too, for both books. Just give
Oh
it to
yeah,
the teen and
absolutely.
young adult enthusiast, any fan of Beverly Hills 90210 or 90s TV. It resonates with everybody intergenerationally, which just lands so well, Larry. So
Thank you for that.
everybody, make sure you visit LarryMollin.com or Amazon to get the Pool Guys Kid and Crushing Cabo. And when do you expect the third one out? Sometime this summer, you said?
Summer, yeah, it would be
Okay,
summer.
excellent. Well, I know I can't wait, and just appreciate you joining me, Larry. So we'll talk
Yeah,
soon.
I'm
Thank you
I'm
again.
writing it for you because that's what keeps me going, just writing for the people who really care. Thanks,
Looking
man.
forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.